Vanakkam நேயர்களே, welcome back to another episode on Vadapochetamilpodcast. We are now available on most streaming platforms, which is Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or எந்த பாட்காஸ்ட் பிளாட்ஃபார்மில் நீங்கள் கேட்குறதா இருந்தாலும் நீங்கள் அதை கேட்டுக்கலாம்.
நம்மள சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் நீங்கள் ஃபைண்ட் பண்ணலாம் @Vadapochetamilpodcast, Instagram and TikTok. Leave us a comment, message அனுப்புங்க, ஏதாவது ஃபீட்பேக் இருந்தாலும் சொல்லுங்கள். We'll definitely reply to you guys. So please reach out to us and let's have a conversation going. Enjoy the show.
So what do you eat for breakfast?
Huh? I don't eat for breakfast. I don't eat anything for breakfast now.
Really, man?
No.
Why?
Because I don't wake up for breakfast. நான் எந்திரிக்கிறது லஞ்ச் டைம்டா.
சரி, நம்ம ரெண்டு பேர் காணோம் எபிசோட்ல.
நல்லது, எடிட்டிங் தப்பிச்சது.
Hey, stop insulting my friends. என் உயிர் நண்பர்கள்.
உயிரை கொடுத்து
அந்த ஊவை மாக்கு மாத்திருங்க.
So welcome back to another episode, நேயர்களே. இந்த வாரம் we have two guests with us. We have Aarthi and we have Arvin. So we are from House of Oracles. So this is ஏற்கனவே தடுக்கிட்டு இருக்குன்னு பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா? So I'll tell you the mistake I made. When I reached out to them, I was like, let's do tarot reading. I was under the impression it was tarot reading. But it was not. Like I told them, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to read about tarot reading. அவங்க மூஞ்ச பார்க்கணும். செருப்பால அடிக்காத கோலம். Like, we don't do tarot reading. We do oracle reading. I'm like, yes, you're right. So wait, what's the difference? What's the difference between tarot reading and oracle reading?
So tarot reading is more structured compared to oracle reading, and we use more intuition when we are reading the cards, and we also don't predict the future, we only guide you.
Yeah, so with tarot, okay, so like in New Age spirituality, everyone does tarot readings because they want to know a sense of the future, or they want to know what's happening in the future. But the thing about the future is it's very uncertain. You create it based on your thoughts, your words, your beliefs and everything every second from now. So with tarot readings, usually it tells you only one possibility of the future. And a lot of times I think that when we started our business, we wanted to help people heal because the whole point of spirituality is for you to kind of help everyone become conscious, or at least increase their consciousness in a higher vibration. And for you to do that, for you to help people, you genuinely need to help them heal. Because, for example, someone comes in and tells you that I want to change my career, what should I do? You can tell them the best possibility with a tarot card or with tarot readings, for example. But at the end of the day, you're telling them that one possibility instead of telling them that, okay, if you work on certain parts of yourself and you understand that the world is a reflection of you, you can find any job, you can make anything yours. Like, for example, I quit a full-time job. We both quit a full-time job to start this, and we could have just believed that, okay, there's no one in Singapore who does it full-time that doesn't have rich parents. When we started with $40 in our bank account, okay, and we started it off as a pop-up. And for us to build ourselves up, it's because we believed that anything is possible. We kind of took away the blocks that prevented us from succeeding, and we actually put success in front of us. And I think with oracle readings, we focus mostly on that, helping you heal your traumas, helping you heal from the past, and focus more on the present moment itself, so you can create any future.
So, to a layman, right? How does it work?
So basically, we have our set of cards, and we have us, the psychic siblings. So all we do is when a customer comes in, we tap into their energy. So the reason why we have cards is because of the fact that it's, for example, if I looked at you and let's say you're an egoistic person, and I told you that I think that your ego is too big, you listen or you care too much about what people think, you're going to deny it because it's human nature. But if my card tells you exactly what I tell you, there's no way that you cannot deny it.
Right.
Like, because it's right in front of you. And when we do readings, most of the time we stare at you so that you know that we are actually tapping into your energy itself. And for you to know that we're not really looking at the cards, but the cards say the same exact thing that we are saying, then I think it will be a click to help people.
So, sorry, is the card then like a medium, like a, not medium,
Yeah.
is it like a middleman to
so
actually...
These are like divination tools, so you can actually use cards, you can use pendulum board,
Anything.
yeah,
Eggshells.
bones.
What's a pendulum board?
Pendulum is the
Yes.
chain like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Physics படிப்போமேடா.
நான் physics எடுக்கிறேன், நான் bio student.
So a pendulum is basically just like a crystal or any kind of pointed thing, and you ask yes no answers, because the practicality behind it is not that something is magically going to come and move it for you, but it's the fact that your body subconsciously has subtle movements that cause it to move in different directions, telling you if it's a yes response or a no response. And the reason why that's possible is because every single one of us, we have a GPS system inside of us that tells us what's good, what's not, who's good for us, what path we should take at this point in time. So it's about connecting to that part of you and using tools like this to help. But we progressively use tools, or we use more tools, or like cards in general, because we actually do like up to 100 customers per day. So for us, it's like, if I want to tap into if I want to tap into every one of your energies, at one point I'm gonna become a skeleton at the end of the night. So I'm gonna tap into your energy still, but the cards make it easier for me to just get the images and understand things.
So what's the from the process standpoint, right? What's the link between your customer, the customer, or the energy, and how you select the cards? So how does it work in that way?
It's like choosing bread. Okay, so like when you go and buy bread in the NTUC or whatever, you always take the bread at the back. But necessarily we don't do that. Like we will sometimes, some days we feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna look at the under deck of the braids, but I'm gonna try to go in the back, but I feel what's good. Like I just feel like this packet of bread, even though it's not all the way at the end, it's gonna be good because it's like a different feeling. So we just pick that up. Right. So that's what intuition is, and I think that helps us choose. So some people can come in and sit down, and if you feel like their energy is for a certain deck, you bring out the other that deck. So it's about how receptive they are. Like us, we can read from any deck, but for them, it's easier for them to be receptive if the messages are in one way or another based on their energy.
Right.
A lot of it is down to the energy.
It's all back to energy, because it's like everyone carries some sort of energy, right? So I'm actually tapping to your energy, and we're using this as the middleman. Yeah, so when we do inside, we usually tap 3 times, first to cleanse, and then after that, you will tap 3 times and you will tell your name. So basically, you're putting your energy over there.
Right.
And all the things we say is everything you know. Whether you choose to, like, a stranger says it to you, you will be like, hey, how does she know? Then you will be like, okay, I need to do something. But when your mind tells it to you, you are like overthinking, giving excuses.
It's very similar to what I said just now. Like if I came to a Munji and I said, "Ninga romba arrogant irukkreenga," like obviously you're gonna be like, "No, na ipo arrogant in there like this." You won't see your actions. But when someone else, a stranger, is like telling you all of this, you need to accept it at one point. Right. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna force you to accept it. I'm gonna try my best to get the messages across. But if you don't get it, then too bad. I cannot do much. But so far we have only had like 4 or 5 customers that don't accept those messages. Right. A lot of people, they come in with very big egos. They break themselves and then they come back again. They're completely different people. Okay. Yeah.
So it's more like when somebody tells you something, it makes it real in a way compared to like like mentioning something like you're in your emos, but when somebody actually acknowledges it, that it somewhat validates it in a way, Yeah. Okay, so throughout the few minutes so far, we've spoken about energy. How do you actually define that energy? Like, how do you define that when you say you're reading out energy and then pick the deck? Right? What is the energy that you're talking about?
So to be honest, like even in the laws of physics, right, every single thing is energy. The reason why it's both a mix of physics or quantum physics and spirituality, where everything is only acting the way it's acting. Like for example, this mic is only this mic because we are observing it, or it's being observed, or we are perceiving it. So every single thing is made of energy. And what spiritual people have been saying for thousands and thousands of years is you create every single thing around you. Like this room is created because of us. To be honest, right now, if someone else that isn't real or physically real open that door, there's not going to be anything there. It's just going to be empty. So we are just in this room.
I think everything has frequency. So what we're trying to do is try to raise your frequency right now. Like for example, we know money is a high frequency. Right? And if you have all these lazy habits, how can you attract something in a high frequency? So
laziness is a low frequency.
Okay, like now we come with this energy, okay, not you, okay, but per se that this customer comes in a very low vibrational frequency. What is the future that even we don't have to take the cards? What is the possible future you can see?
Okay.
I mean, like
gloomy.
I mean, it's like not your off day. That one is okay if you wake up late, but on daily basis.
Just saying that because she sleeps all the time.
Recharge. Okay, like if I don't wake up and do anything, I'm just lazy every day. Just sleeping in my room and stuff like that. What is my possible outcome?
That same thing.
And then even if I were to come to read from you, right? What are you going to say? Obviously, my future will be very dark because there's no vibration. There's nothing to do to raise my frequency, nothing.
Right.
But if you're already doing something and then I got a desire, okay, I want to be a millionaire, but we need to start somewhere. Like even you all, right? If you want to make this podcast successful, how many years already? But can we give up? Yeah. So like for you kind of people, it is like what y'all can do to better yourself. Like to reach your frequency.
And it's not like we don't look at you physically and judge you. Some people can be like physical appearance doesn't mean anything for us. It's just about tapping into your energy. And the moment someone sits down in front of us, or sometimes even if they walk into the store, you already know that this person whines a lot. And how am I supposed to know that they whine if they're alone sitting down there? So for example, imagine you're sitting and I'm like, you whine way too much, you complain way too much. And they're going to realize that, oh shit, I actually do. But the problem is not everyone understands why you need to change your vibrations. People don't believe in it. People don't understand. So what we do is we prove it to you that there's no scientific way as of now that for me to tap into your energy and know things I'm not supposed to know. For example, there are days that we can read into customers' minds, tell them things like one of my first experience, I think, or the first most important experience when it came to reading minds is when a customer came in and she was sexually abused years ago, and I could describe exactly who sexually abused her, and she didn't even tell me she was abused, but I told her, so I could describe everything. So every single thing is energy. We're all connected, and the point of spirituality is to understand that I'm a reflection of her, she's a reflection of me, you're a reflection of me. Every single person in the world, we're reflecting each other one way or another. So to increase your frequency, the I guess the end point is for you to understand that there's no need to be angry at anyone or mad at anyone or sad or negative at anyone. You just need to understand that they're reflecting you. You have done that to yourself. You set the bar so low for you to treat me like, for anyone to treat me like.
Basically.
So, are you saying like number actually are connected in one way or another? Everyone is actually connected.
Definitely connected. And if you start believing that, you'll realize a lot of synchronicities. For example, if you accept today that you're connected, by tomorrow, whoever you think of will already appear in front of you. Like you could think of a long friend that you haven't seen in years, but somehow they'll appear in front of you or send you a message. But you need to learn how to believe it. Trust is what the universe wants from you.
My theory, right, is actually like there's literally frequency up to 1 to 100%. You will never meet someone who is completely different from you. That means not even 1% of similarities at all. And neither would you meet another person who is 100% similar than you. So whoever you're meeting is always something either to lift you up or to teach you something. This is perspective and to be open to.
Actually, I completely agree with you. Like, not from because I haven't been so exposed to the art of like reading, like the oracle reading and all that. Right? But I do believe in the philosophy where if you want good things to happen, or if you want to attract like-minded people, you need to start behaving and
like that,
being the person who you want to be, and then the right people will come into your life as well. I do believe in that. So, but and one thing you mentioned about when you meet people, sometimes customers, you get a sense of energy. But I think in common socially used terms, right, people get a bad vibe or a good vibe from a person. Is it a similar thing?
It's actually literally the same thing.
Okay.
So why? But some people might misuse that word. But every single person in this world is psychic. Every single person is connected. So you can take, like, if I could fly right now, all of you here could fly if you believed in it. And flying would show you that it's possible. And all of you would be able to fly the next second. Because the whole point of life, the whole point of this matrix or living in this physical plane is just for you to realize the moment you surrender and you trust, that's the hardest thing. For example, if I told you guys that, okay, you just need to completely surrender. Stop doing everything that you're doing. Just trust the universe. Don't initiate things. You're not going to do that because you're going to be like, dude, I have bills to pay next week. I have to do this. I have to do that. So you're not going to do that. But when you learn to actually completely surrender and trust, you're going to realize that, oh shit, everything is working out the way that it's supposed to. And that's why I suggest a lot of times some people need to go on vacations, especially when they're in midlife crises, because quit your job because your job sucks. At the end of the day, go on a vacation and actually take the time to rest, take the time to look inside of yourself. And at that point, you have nothing to lose because you have enough to sustain yourself. Right. And you're not going to lose anything by trusting in the universe. And that's when... I think
it's important to recharge.
Right.
Yeah.
And make sure you do what you're supposed to do, but don't be fixated on the outcome.
Right. So... It's more like அந்த ரொம்ப ஒரு நெகட்டிவான மைண்ட் செட் நெகட்டிவான எனர்ஜியா இருந்தா it's like the if you're too negative for too long, you might end up in a downward spiral, in a vicious cycle sort of thing, right? So I think you meant, like you
for
mentioned,
example, if you guys watch a lot of Tamil series, right, or you go to someone's house who watch Tamil series, their house definitely has the same drama.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are obsessing over it. They think that it's really something that's happening. So,
இல்ல ஏன் தெரியுமா நான் சிரிக்கிறேன், என் பாட்டி ரொம்ப தமிழ் படமா பார்ப்பாங்க.
என் பாட்டியும் அந்த மாதிரி தான் கொஞ்சம்.
Actually,
they start. Okay, so all the plots in the drama, right? Like the daughter-in-law does something.
Yeah, exactly.
Then if something happens in a real life situation, those thoughts are already planted in your
Yeah.
head.
Exactly.
The
Yeah,
media.
because from morning until night, that's what you're watching. That's what you're feeding your head.
Yeah, so you watch like Mamyar drama, right? Like Mamyar,
Yeah.
Mamaga drama, right? Suddenly you'll have a domestic helper that's completely innocent, but you'll be like, when the cast is like, you're gonna end up becoming that person because you're genuinely thinking that, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And by that, you'll actually manifest it. But in a psychological perspective, there's this thing called memories are not real to an extent. You can very easily alter memories, especially when you get older, because when you think or you believe in something hard enough, you think that you genuinely think that it's real already. So that is a common problem when it comes to older people. And
That's why we need to feed our mind.
that's why I
the
need
right-
to cut off certain channels.
Yeah.
இல்ல then they'll cut off the சாப்பாடு they put for
சொன்ன
சோத்துல விஷத்தை கூட போடுவாங்க அது எனக்கு நம்ப முடியாது
Actually, yeah, that's true. No something, no sapadu.
So, at that time, my mother has this habit of watching the news every day. Then the news is only negative things, right?
No, yeah.
I told my mom, watching this negative stuff for what? Then I put some nonsense on the TV for her. She'll just get angry.
Yeah, but Tamil news is more negative. They sit down there. Inike. Headline news.
தலைப்புச் செய்திகள்.
தலைப்பு செய்திகள். They just are so negative. So
humans are naturally gravitated towards the negative side of
Why?
things, right?
Yeah, why?
Why?
because every single one of us, right, we have a life purpose that we choose. Some people are meant to be healers. Some people are meant to be educators. Some people are meant to be bringing fairness and protection. So there's always this, like this GPS system you have, right? It's always going to feel empty unless you're following your life purpose. And if it feels empty, that's why people want drama in their lives. That's why they go for toxic situations, because I feel so empty. Or they just feed into old emotions that they don't even feel at this point. Like, I'm depressed, my life sucks. So they're always going to feed into all these emotions because they feel empty. But if you follow your life purpose or you trust yourself, because your life purpose is not going to be something you don't like. Okay? I mean, sometimes you don't want to accept it, but it's not going to be something that you don't like if you actually think about it. So if you follow that, you're not going to have all this drama. You're not going to attract drama. If anyone says that, I'm trying to be better in my life and I always attract drama, I'll really ask them, or then just like touch your heart and tell me that you don't want drama. They cannot do that. Even if they say that, they know that they're not being truthful to themselves.
This is also like generationally, right? Like all of us have traumas. That's not even ours. So like for y'all also, right? Sometimes how your grandfather feel or something that he has done, it will be running towards y'all as well. So the fear, I think there's like 2,000 generation of fear. Okay, so like for us women is usually more on our mother's side. So even I won't know what is rape, but because my great grandmother or someone in my family has went there, that fear is already with me.
Right.
And none of my family members took the initiative to heal. As in, like, they never really sit down, heal themselves and come out of this fear. They just pass down and it just accumulates. So this is what we say, baggages that's been passed down.
Right.
Yeah, so now that in me, like my DNA, the way my system in me itself, it is like to fear this, to think like that. And I don't have anyone trying here to, like, for example, he said, what is your life purpose? Move that and all of that. But I can't, because my whole family for years, we've been like this.
Right.
So it's like an impact.
It's a okay.
But
So,
it's a choice
yeah.
that you make at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
because-
we are like not aware, like,
And I think right now in this generation, especially, there's no excuse for
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
to be like, oh, my life sucks or whatever.
because
yes,
only now mental health has become like something
Yeah.
we can talk.
Especially in
Yeah.
our
Our
region.
generation,
yeah.
yeah.
like Singapore is
Region.
not doing the best in terms of mental health.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that, but
But at least we can voice out. Like my mother, like all our mothers, to be honest, right? Certain thing they do, we himself will question, like, why ma are you doing like that?
Yeah.
And
Right.
she's like, I can't. I'm like that.
Just
Why?
wired that way.
Yeah. And we are like, ma, like, no, this is the possibility and all. And she will stare at you like, please save me, but I can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's-
for us, it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why woman has to do all the thing, and she cannot give you an explanation, but she can't change.
Right. Yeah.
she
yeah.
hates what she's doing, but
Yeah,
still,
but
She
she's
has,
so
yeah.
into like that. Like even sometimes I feel my father also certain thing he doesn't want to do, but if he doesn't do that, will it validate him being a man?
Right.
Right? Like sometimes you can actually feel it, you can see it, but then it comes back to
Yeah, but also I realize
conditioning and
one of the things is like I don't want to invalidate my own culture, but when it comes to brown culture or people of color, there is so much trauma being passed on. There's so much things that's unnecessary. Like if you look at Indians itself, right, no matter what generation they are in, as like our generation, that's fine. Their parents are always telling them that, oh, for example, we are Brahmins, we cannot do this. We are Pillays, we cannot do this. Or they're always holding on to your neighbor's going to know what's happening. They always hold on to these toxic ideas that what people think matters. But the truth is, it doesn't really matter because, like, for example,
Because
someone...
they also don't have time.
they don't have time, first of all. And second, for example, you insult me. Are you going to be the one, like, helping me give food to myself? Are you going to be the one... getting me up into a Netflix film, for example? You're not going to be doing anything in my life, so I'm going to take what you said, try to understand that everything stems from a truth. I will understand my parts and your parts to the contribution, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to move on. I don't care about what you think.
Right.
I'm going to learn from it, but I'm not going to care. If I did something wrong, I will apologize.
I think we like feeding fears. Our fears we try to feed to our kids. And like me, I always feed all that fear to my siblings. Yeah, so...
She traumatized me when I was a child. I mean, a lot of people traumatized me as a child, but...
Yeah, so I feel like that's what we do. These days, I try to be more positive to my siblings, like, no, we can and everything. But the voice of my parents still run very strong. Very strong, like...
I think, are you the eldest sibling?
Yeah.
I understand, because I'm the eldest sibling.
Eldest,
I'm the
yeah.
eldest sibling. I'm the eldest in my generation as well.
Same, my eldest cousin and...
So it's shitty, it's shitty. But then I'm quite rebellious, so...
But you also need to understand why you're rebellious.
Yeah.
And do you still want to be rebellious? Or is that an identity you're still holding on to from the
It's
past?
goes to
I'm
a lot of questions were
Yeah, but I'm psychically analysing you.
You'll see gears and smoke coming out.
Smoke coming out from the ears.
But I think we are rebellious good because y'all got opportunity to do stuff. Because we started it.
That's something you guys tell yourselves when you just...
No. We are the guinea pigs.
No, wait. Touch your heart and tell me that you guys were not afraid to start new things. That
But
you
we did
decided on your own that you want to start new things. In the past.
Obviously, we did it. If it wasn't for us doing something, y'all wouldn't think like, oh, we also can do this.
I'm the
Okay.
younger
For me
one.
personally, like, I did everything on my... Like, I think that I excelled on my own. So, yeah, like, I understand your point of view also. But, yeah, you guys carry a lot of trauma as the older child.
I think everyone does.
think-
I think everyone, to be very honest, because you can't quantify your trauma as bigger my trauma.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I think everyone has a
Different set of
different
like,
set.
perspectives.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, I always thought the oldest carried the most, but nowadays I see my younger sisters,
No way.
they are the worst. Like,
Because
different.
It's a different
because
society.
when we walk out, we thought that, okay, like done.
Yeah.
But now I see them in, oh my God.
Okay, yeah, so my sister, right, says the exact same thing. So my sister, in her world, right, she paved the way for me. And whatever music I like is because of what my sister exposed me to. Whatever shows I like is because of what my sister exposed me to. I am the manifestation of my sister's likes and dislikes per billion. So I told her, but I think it's partially true. So my major in uni and my profession and all that is largely influenced by the major that my sister did. Because I'm not one of those people that were maths enthusiast or a science level. I am more of an arts sort of person, a language sort of person, which is pretty similar to my sister as well. But so she in a way paved the way. She planted that seed in my head, and I do agree. But with being the younger sibling, the challenges are completely different. Because you observe a lot more. From what I've noticed, you observe a lot more.
True.
And you get into your head a lot more. You understand how the people within your family operate. Because most of the time, the elder sibling is told to do this, to do that, to watch out for the younger siblings and all that. But as the younger siblings, you are here, people telling you what to do all the time. And then you're observing this, observing that, and then you understand, you actually know your family a lot in a certain way. While the elder sibling, it's not a bad thing. From my observation, the elder sibling is ending up more about thinking about what they should do for them, what they should do for you, that sort of things. Rather, it's more, in a way, not in a negative way, but a little bit more self-involved in the thought process, while the younger sibling is observing everything. So that's the difference that I've seen. Not that either one is good or bad, but that's the difference that I've observed. Can the other younger
agree.
sibling?
I think in terms of my perspective, like both elder, younger siblings, we all have different sets of or perspectives in terms of the trauma we carry or whatever. So in terms of elder siblings, what I've realized is on their end, their parents have very high expectations for them.
Yeah.
Okay. and somehow I think that it's a weight to carry because of so many expectations being set on you. But as a younger sibling, that's the opposite. You're kind of like a doormat, and there's lesser I guess expectations set on you. So a lot of things that you do, you need to do it on your own. You had to fight for it. For example, if your elder sibling says, I want to go get a tattoo, your mom's going to yell. But eventually it's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
But we have to start it first. Then it's easier for you to do.
We break the barriers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but okay, you guys break certain barriers for sure. But in terms of, like, in terms of my experience, right, my elder brother didn't exactly, like, he broke certain barriers in terms of, you know, me getting fancy haircuts or whatever. But a lot of times, whatever he did and he messed up, I had to face the consequences of it. As in, my mom would yell at him, but, you know, she'll be okay after a while. But when I do it, I had to go through 10 times worse. Because why are you following your brother, for example? They would always say, look up to your siblings.
But that is one thing also. When we screw up, it's big too.
Yeah.
No, but then after that, wouldn't it go like, I mean, this is what I gonna la, like if something happens, then like see your younger sibling is following you, then I will gonna round 2 because of that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, நான் சும்மா தான் இருந்துட்டு இருந்தேன்.
Yeah, but you see, like, they will be okay with talking to you after that. But will they be okay with talking to me after that, for example? They're going to show me a Cold War while they are still glorifying you. So, as an elder sibling, to be honest, you guys are always glorified. Or, from what I've seen in my personal life and other people's lives, you're always glorified. But for the younger sibling, you're kind of like the doormat, literally. What they do, they screw up. Your elder sibling gives you instruction to do something, and somehow you get in trouble for that. Right. So, it's always you being literally the doormat.
One common struggle I've seen amongst other younger siblings, like so I'm in a bit of a middle ground with regards to my family. So it's only me and my sister in my house. But with regards to my cousins, which we all spend most of the time growing up together in my grandparents' house, right? So with regards to the cousins, there are like 2 different age groups. There's one age group with the largely older cousins and the one age group with the younger ones. I'm the oldest in the younger ones. Okay. So I'm like the big brother here, but in this group, I'm the youngest. Okay. So I am like just confused.
It's like you.
So I had a question, like when you're talking about like the oracle reading and all that, right? Do you have to deal? Is it completely outside of religion?
I think that we combine, like, we don't promote any religious practices or whatsoever, but we take what makes sense out of all religions. So we look at Abrahamic religions, we look at, for example, in Abrahamic religions, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, whatever. We look into Hinduism, we take some practices from there. We look into Buddhism, we take some practices from there. So we take the practical things that we can use, but we don't take other things that, like, we perceive as not making sense. Yeah. I think that it's just to help, like, we create an inclusive environment because spirituality is nothing to do with, like, I mean, it has to do with God, but it doesn't matter what God you believe in, because okay, think about it this way, okay? If God is all great, why is it that there are 10 different gods then? So basically, it just has to be different versions of that same God, right? So I think that is a lot of times when religious people take things into context, they don't really actually, like, they take things that don't make sense. And I think that at one point logic does play a role when it comes to religion.
Because I think I have this belief like humans are driven by their beliefs.
Definitely.
And the belief illati, they just stop functioning. So one of the beliefs is religion. Religion is like, சாமியை கும்பிட்டாக்கா எக்ஸாம்ல நல்லா பண்ணுவேன், something like that. So and the belief, I know it's
I find that transaction.
It is. So like, you can quote it as transactional. I'm not shitting on any religions, don't get me wrong. But this is my opinion, where I think we are driven by beliefs, and maybe spirituality is the word you can use to actually say.
It's like an umbrella thing. So basically,
what you believe in is like you could.
It doesn't matter what God. Like, you go to church, you pray. I'm just asking you to trust God and actually trust. Because no matter how religious you are, like, there are people, right, clients who come in, they're very religious, and they encourage other people, like their friends, not to do it because, you know, it's forbidden in Christianity and whatsoever. But for me, like, it's just like, okay, but in your life, you talk so much about faith, but you don't even believe in your God 100%. So I don't think that you're in a place where you should talk about faith at all. Because you believe in God. If you genuinely believe in God, it's 100%. There's no, I believe in God 70%. All these people are just finding a reason to make rules in their life, and so to control everyone else. And I am not, even if I get cancelled for this, I really don't care. Like I'm unapologetic about this, because if you believe in a God, believe 100%. And if you believe in a God, you're not going to be whining about, oh, my life sucks, this happened, that happened. No, you're going to take the time to acknowledge your feelings, but you're also going to understand that God's not going to throw shit at you just because. God is going to give you lessons. And if you take those lessons, great. No more big lessons. If you don't take those lessons, then same thing will be repeated over and over again, and you cannot blame humans for that. You cannot blame God for that. You need to understand that, again, God doesn't throw shit at you.
That's the question I actually wanted to ask. You know, like, when you're running the business, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have faced people who are very religious or very staunch about a certain religion, and they come to you, they might not be convinced, or, you know, like, do you all have any stories? So, like,
Do you remember the moment, Fredo?
Yeah, this is like beginning in Haji Lane when we were Studio Neon.